Please lie on your back in a natural position. Straight arms, straight legs. Invite yourself into yourself. Take the time to feel the contact with the floor. How long are you today? How wide? Are you thinking about yourself leaning on the floor or about the floor supporting you? Can you think on each one of these options? And take the time to feel your breathing. Where do you feel the movement? Is it in your belly? In your chest? Can you feel the movement in the front part of yourself? In the back? Stand your feet, your knees are bent. You have approximately the same distance between your feet and your knees. And lift your arms up towards the ceiling and to the floor above your head and back. Do it a few times. Slowly. Sense the movement in your shoulders, how your shoulder blades are changing the way they're pressing on the floor. Let your fingers and your palms be soft. Don't stretch them. Sense the movement in your ribs, how they're going up, how they're sinking down, and what is happening in your belt area, in your lumbar area. When is it lifted away from the floor, and when is it sinking down towards the floor? Next time you stop, interlace your fingers and place your hands behind your head. Your elbows are open. And now lift your head, let your elbows come towards your face and let it down to the floor. Do it a few times. Every time you lift your head, you exhale and inhale when you let it down. Pay attention to your vertebrae, which ones are pressing the floor when you lift your head and when you let it back down on the floor. And you're looking in between your legs. Try to make it very easy. Pay attention to your ribs, how they're sinking down towards your abdomen while lifting your head. Stop and roll over to lie on your right side. Your right arm is long under your right ear, and you are looking forward so your spine stays long. Your legs are bent approximately 90 degrees between your thigh and your lower leg. Your knees are above each other and your feet are above each other. Take your left arm to wrap your head like headphones, so your fingers are touching your right ear. And you're lifting your head and letting it back down. Do it a few times. exhale while lifting. And feel, what are you pressing to the floor in order to lift your head? What is helping you? Next time, stay with your head up and only move your eyes to the right and to the left. Very smoothly, keep breathing. Place your head down again and lift it up once more. See if it's a little bit easier now. And let your head rest on your arm. Place your left arm in front of you on the floor. And you're lifting your lower leg and your feet and letting it back down. So your knees stay together and only your feet rises up towards the ceiling and going back down. Try to do this movement as easy as you can. Keep on breathing. And now do the opposite. You're lifting your knee towards the ceiling and the inner side of your feet stay together. How does that compare? Which movement is easier, lifting the knee or lifting the foot? So alternate. Go back to lifting the foot and see if it's any easier. And try to lift the knee a few times and decide which movement is easier for you. And stay there. To learn what makes it easier. What other parts of yourself are participating in this movement? Is your pelvis moving? Are your ribs moving? Is your breathing more fluent? And now go back to the other movement and try to implement what you've learned. It doesn't have to be big. We're trying to make it easier and simpler. And now alternate. Once lift your knee and once lift your foot. And try to make it the same range of movement. You don't need to make it big, only easier. Keep on breathing. And now do it faster. Tuck, 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 tuck. And let it go and rest on the side. And now lift only the heel. So the big toes press each other. The heel is lifting up and going back down. The left heel is lifting and going back down. Notice what is moving in your lower leg. Is it only in your lower leg or do you feel any movement in your thigh? And now do the opposite movement. You're lifting the left toes, the toes of your left foot. So the heel is pressing down towards the right heel. Don't do it with force. Don't strain anything. Keep on breathing. Can you feel that there is any movement in your lower leg? Maybe in your thigh. And now alternate. Go back to lifting the heel. And then lifting the toe and see which movement is easier for you. And can you make both easy and simple? So do once the toes and once the heel. Keep on breathing. And now do it quicker. tuck, 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 tuck. And let it go, rest on your side. Go back to lifting your knee a few times. Is it any easier? And now lift your foot and your lower leg so your knees are pressing together. Is this any different? And let it go. Wrap your head with your left arm and lift your head. Exhale as you do that and let it rest. Do it a few times and see, is it any easy now? Any easier? Is your pelvis moving towards your head and your hip, your left hip? Let it go. And now press your palm to the floor so you can lift your elbow up towards the ceiling. So you're getting a 90 degrees angle in your wrist. And if it's not easy to do, you should find another location for your hand. So you're pressing your palm and lifting your elbow. Next time you let down your elbow, just drop it to the floor. Puff. Lift and drop. Lift and drop. Try to slide your hand up and do the same movement. How does that compare? Can you feel it's easier now to lift the elbow? Or is it easier to drop the elbow, but you can't really lift it to a 90 degree in your wrist? And now slide your hand down and see, how does that compare? You can't really drop your elbow to the floor, can you? So find the right position for your hand and just lift your elbow towards the ceiling and leave it there. And now move your elbow forward and backward. Forward and backward, maintaining the 90 degree angle in your wrist. So your elbow is pulling your shoulder and shoulder blade forward and then pushing them backwards. Keep on breathing. Your spine stays long. Your pelvis stays quiet. And now stop and draw a circle with your elbow. And try to sense, is it really a circle? Think about the circle your shoulder is drawing. And now think about the circle your palm is drawing on the floor. Again, go back thinking about the circle your elbow is drawing. Is it any different? And now change direction. Keep on breathing. And now do it quicker. To one direction and then to the other. Drop your elbow to the floor and rest for a minute. Go back to wrapping your head with your arm. Is it any easier, this wrapping movement? And now lift your head while exhaling, looking forward. Is it easier? Can you feel your ribs are sinking more to the floor, pressing the floor, and the ribs in your left side can bend more easily towards your pelvis? Let it go and roll over to your back. Lie naturally with your arms long and your legs long. And take a moment to feel the difference between your left side and your right side. Can you feel that one side is more ironed to the floor? Can relax better? Has more contact points with the floor? The floor is supporting the side better. Roll your head. See to which side you chose to start. And where is your head rolling easier, to the left or to the right? Stop in the middle. Stand your feet, interlace your fingers, and lift your head. And let it back on the floor. Do it a few times. How does that compare to the first movement we did in the beginning of the lesson? Can you feel that one side is smarter now? That one elbow is smarter? And now lift your feet from the floor so your knees can come closer to your abdomen. And keep on lifting your head, bringing your elbows closer to your face, exhaling. Can you feel that one knee is smarter than the other, one elbow is smarter than the other, as if one side of yours knows the job better? Let it go and roll over to lie on your left side. Your left arm is long below your left ear. You can place your palm on the floor or the tips of your fingers are touching the floor. And your knees are in 90 degrees pretty much. Find the comfortable place. One knee on top of the other, one foot on top of the other. And you're looking forward so your spine stays aligned. And you're wrapping your head with your right arm as headphones. Your fingers are touching your left ear. And you're lifting your head up and letting it back down a few times. How does it compare to the other side? How is it organized here? Is it any easier or more difficult? Stay with your head up and look with your eyes to the right and to the left a few times. Your head is not moving, is resting, only your eyes are moving. And now go back to lifting your head. Feel your ribs. How are they pressing the floor in order to help you lift your head? And let it go. Place your right arm in front of you. Lift your elbow towards the ceiling. So your palm is pressing the floor. And drop it. Lift towards the ceiling and drop it to the floor. Is this a comfortable place for your palm? You know now that you can try another location. And now rest your elbow and lift your palm from the floor. Lift and drop. Lift and drop. So your forearm is slightly lifted away from the floor as well. And now alternate. Lift your elbow and drop it, and then lift your palm and drop it. Can you do it faster? Let it go and rest. Lift your elbow again towards the ceiling and now move it forward and backwards. So when you're moving it forward, it is pulling your shoulder blade away from your spine and then it's pressing it backwards. Keep on breathing. Your head is quiet, your pelvis is quiet. Feel the chain of movement between your elbow and your shoulder blade, the muscles in between your shoulder and your ear. The movement in the ribs on the left side and on the right side. And now start to draw circles with your elbows. With your elbow. Exactly. Think about the circles that your shoulder is drawing. And now go back to thinking about the circles your elbow is drawing. Is it clearer? Change the direction. Think about the circles your palm is drawing on the floor, changing the pressure. And go back to the elbow. And now do it quicker. To one direction and to the other. Stop and drop the elbow to the floor. Do it a few times. Let it go. Again, wrap your head with your arm and lift your head. Is it easier now? Is it more comfortable? Can you feel it's easier to wrap your head? Is your arm closer to your ear? Can you bend more easily? And let it go. And now lift your foot from the floor a few times. You're keeping your knees together and your lower leg and your foot are going back to the left foot, which is on the floor. And now keep your foot on the left foot and lift your right knee a few times. Keep on breathing. Do it slowly enough so you can feel which movement is easier. You can try again lifting your right foot so you can sense the differences, the nuances. And when you find out which direction is easier, try to learn what makes it easier. And how can you implement it to the other movement? And now alternate. Once lifting the knee, once lifting your foot and lower leg. Don't go fast and don't go far. Try to do it the same amount of movement. Stay in your comfortable range. Keep on breathing. And now do it quicker. Let it go and rest. Lift your right heel and let it back down. What is happening in your lower leg? Can you feel any movement there? Can you feel movement in other places? And now a few times lift your toes. And now alternate. Once your heel, once your toes. Keep on breathing and do it quicker. Stop, rest. And once again, lift your knee a few times. Can you feel more parts of your body are helping you now? Has it become easier? And now your foot and lower leg. Stop, wrap your head with your right arm and lift your head. Is it more simple now? Do you feel your ribs are participating, pressing the floor and sinking down towards your pelvis? Is your hip and pelvis moving towards your head better now? Stop and roll over to your back. Lie in a natural position. It's not about the image that you have of lying on the floor. It's about how you feel is comfortable for you right now, right here. So you can sense yourself. What has changed? Do you feel more contact points with the floor? Is the floor supporting you better now? Can you breathe more fully in new places? Roll your head to one side and to the other. Which side did you choose to start from? Is it any easier? The movement in your head, in your neck? Can you feel an echo in your spine? Interlace your fingers and now switch the order so you're interlacing in the non-habitual way. Place them behind your head and lift your head up and let it back down. Do it a few times and see if it's any easier now. Can you bend yourself more easily? Is your head lifted higher now without any effort? Can you feel that your ribs are sinking down better and your abdomen muscles are contracting easily? Keep looking in between your legs. Let your elbows come closer to your face while lifting your head. And now lift your feet from the floor so your knees are bent closer to your abdomen, and keep on lifting your head. Is it easier now doing it in this way as well? Can you feel that your knees are coming closer and then moving a bit away? Place your feet again on the floor and now lift in diagonals. Your right elbow is meeting your left knee, and then your left elbow is moving towards your right knee. So each time you lift one foot from the floor. And see if you can trust your elbow to know the way, to be smart, to reach the knee without you having to look at your knee. So you can really turn your chest, turn your neck as much as you need to make this movement as easy and simple as possible. And keep on breathing. And stop. Let it all go. Just lie with your arms and legs spread on the floor. Feel the way you are breathing. Are you breathing in new areas? Can you feel the movement of your breathing in the back of yourself, in your lumbar area, in your chest area, in the front part of yourself? Can you breathe more fully in your abdomen, in your lower abdomen, in your chest? And what about sideways? Can you breathe in 3 dimensions? Stop and slowly roll over to one side and find your way up to standing. You can stop sitting should you need to. Take a moment in standing. Feel how tall are you? Do you feel taller? Feel how grounded are you? Are you more grounded? Slowly open your eyes to orient the environment into yourself. And slowly look around you to orient yourself in the environment. Take a few steps and gradually begin to walk. Look to the horizon. Look around you. Stop for a moment and bend to the right and to the left. Imagine that you want to reach for something on the floor, on the right side, and then on the left side. And now up, somewhere above your head, on the right side and on the left side. And again, continue walking. See if you can walk in your normal pace. And look around you. Let your arms swing. And thank you very much.